Good day to everyone. It's time to record the next speaking practice video. The speaking practice video number 76, the first actually in this English studying week. Yes, as you remember, or it isn't difficult for me to remind you that I'll alter my studying between Polish language and English language. And I've successfully, I could say, with a good results, finished Polish, finished 3 weeks in Polish language, and now I moved to the English. Yes, and this video is the first one in this English studying week. In this English study week, yes, and because this is the first one, you can hear that um, I'm only switching between Polish to English. Yes, my English needs time to warm up. Yeah, and usually the first video in the week is a warm up video. So today, probably it wouldn't be smooth speaking, but I will try to concentrate mostly on clarity of my speech, and the idea of what I'm talking about. Yeah, today we're not gonna concentrate attention on fluency or speaking speed. Yeah, but rather on clarity and proper pronunciation. Yes, at least I'll try to do the proper pronunciation because from my experience I surely could admit that after 3 years of studying English I can talk. Yes, I can talk, I can understand, I can read, I can write. Yeah, but pronunciation it's always the weak point for me. Of course, I got pronunciation from TV shows. I got pronunciation from workbooks, student books, English file, from YouTube. Yes, I'm hearing the correct pronunciation, but English is type of language where English is a type of language in which if you don't know the correct pronunciation, it would be really hard for you to just simply recreate it only by hearing the correct pronunciation. You need to, at least this is how it works in my case. I need to precisely know the transcription of the word. I need to have this in my head. Yes, I need to have these examples because, for example, very simple word. Um, okay, 1 minute. Very simple word. Um, hotel or hotel. I probably hotel. Yeah, hotel. In my for all my life, when I didn't study, when I haven't been studying English precisely yet, I always pronounce it like hotel, yeah, or hotel. Always pronounce it like hotel, when in reality, in English, it's hotel or hotel. Oh, sorry. Let's Google because I need to remember the correct pronunciation. Hotel. Hotel pronunciation, please.
Hotel.
Hotel. Yeah, you can even hear it. Yes, I pronounced it like hotel or hotel, but in reality, the correct pronunciation comes through syllable, comes through a letter or syllable v. So you need to say not hotel. You need to say not hotel or hotel. You need to say hotel, hotel. Syllable o there. Yes, and I've been studying English for 3 years, and these moments in pronunciation for me, it's I don't know. It's like hiragana or it's like kanji in Japanese language. It's a lot of information, yes, and it's very easy to mispronounce and simply forget about right pronunciation. Let's repeat it again. Hotel, hotel,
hotel,
hotel,
hotel,
hotel,
hotel,
hotel. Yeah. What about British pronunciation?
hotel,
Hotel, hotel. Accent hotel. Accent on the last syllable. Hotel. Yeah. So let's just remember it that the correct pronunciation of word hotel is the last syllable and through the syllable o. O. Hotel. Yeah. Correct. And this is just a simple example how it's difficult for me at least, to find the correct pronunciation. Of course, I'm trying to mimic the manner of speech that I heard mostly in Friends TV show, American speech. Um, why is that? Because I think to my native vocabulary and to my native language structure, American accent comes less difficult than the British accent. British accent for me, uh, let's say that if I will try to compare myself in American and in British accent, I will do much more mistakes in pronunciation in British accent than in American. Yes, because American somehow probably because you can pronounce R sound feels a little bit easier for me. Okay, but not about that. Not about that. Let's start answer on questions that ChatGPT prepared for us. Because I can talk about, my thoughts, what I think, for a very long time. But we are here to do the practice. So let's open ChatGPT, C1 level questions, and let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Question number one. How do people usually decide what is worth their time and attention in daily life? How do usually people decide what is worth their time and attention in daily life? I think it all depends on personal values, preparations, and simply the depiction of the future, which is usually unique for every person. For instance, let's take me as an instance. I have some ideas about my future. I know now what I want to do in the future, whom I want to become. Yes, in general, yes, not precisely, but in general, whom I want to become, what profession I want to have, and what skills is required to get this profession. So my daily life builds from my daily schedule, let's say, not life schedule. My daily schedule builds from this understanding, this depiction of the future, and I understand that what is worth my time now is what um, will provide me or move me closer to the future. I mean, studying is worth my time now. Practicing is worth my time, and basically it's all. Yes, in a common sense. In order to get a job, I need to study. In order to get the job, I need to get the skills. In order to get skills, I need to practice, and I just do practice. Or in order to get a job as well, I need English, at least on B1, or at least on B2 level. So what I need to do, I need English skills. How to get English skills? I need studying and practicing. So I do studying and practicing. Or for instance, for the far future, let's not try to predict it. I don't know if it happens or not. I just work in this direction. I would like to visit Poland, and uh, because I've already been in Poland once, and when I've been there, I didn't know nor English nor Polish. So um, the communication with the locals wasn't possible. And I want to change it. I already changed it, yes, because my Polish is come closer to B1 level. That will allows me to not absolutely freely, but uh, not absolutely freely talk, but gives me the ability to understand the people and to ask for something necessary that I need, or even talk on some general common topic with them. Yeah, I already have this ability. Yes, if I move to Poland, if I go to Poland, I'll be able to talk with locals. Not very freely, but not very fluently, but not very fluently, but efficiently enough. Yeah, sufficiently enough to understand each other. And the same with English. Yes, if I will need to go to English-speaking countries, it would be a challenge, of course, because now I'm only speaking with myself. Yes, there is no person near me whom I need to understand to work with him in a dialogue. Yeah, but considering the amount of hours that I invested in studying language, studying English, I think at first it's gonna be a challenge, but then very very fast and very efficiently, I would come, I would came, come, I would come to the required level, of fluency that needed to sufficiently, as I said, lead the dialogues or participate in dialogues with English-speaking people. Yeah. So I've been talking about myself. Yes. What was about the question? How do people usually decide what is worth their time and attention in daily life? As I said, yes. As I said, according to their preferences and according to their plans and vision of the future. For me, I have my vision. I have things that I need to do, and I'm doing these things. Yes, in order to move to in order to make the future possible. Yes, like if you want to get a job, you need skills. If you need skills, you need to study. If you want to be able to speak in Polish, you need skills, you need trained Polish. If you want to speak English, if you want to write, work, and operate in English in general, you need to practice, you need to study. And that's how it works, yes. And because I want all the things in the future, yes, being, like I say, international person who can speak multiple languages, who have seen many places and who has a very good expertise in in let's say in video games industry. Yes, I need to do this, and this. Yeah, and that's how I decide what is worth. Yes, what is worth my attention and time. Yeah, the things that is important for me and for my future. And I think, I don't think, I'm sure that the other people operate in the same way. Yes, according to their plans. The question number two: do you think people become more patient or less patient as they get older? Why? Difficult to say. Difficult to say because I consider myself quite patient, quite patient, calm person who usually are looking for peace and yes, looking for peace and mm, there is a people who like conflicts. I don't like conflicts, but um, there is a things in this life that might or even do get me very nervous, get me very not aggressive, but ready to apply the aggression, ready to move into this, conflict mode. Yes, there is some things that I can't put up with, and I'm not going to put up with them. And if there is a things like that happens in my life, the things that crosses my boundaries, and or some kind of do stuff that I deem not very good to do towards me or towards others, my patience and calmness can be very easily changed into conflict. Yes, conflict, aggression, justified aggression, let's say, and even if I could say even and I say at that moments I just like change the mode. Yes, like on TV or when you change the gears in a car. Yeah, like you operate. Let's say you operate stably on a 5 gear. You're moving. Yeah, on the road. You operate in a 5 gear. You moving somewhere around 70 kilometers, and something happened that you need to add more power to your engine. Yes, so what you do, you switch to the third gear, and now you add more gas, and third gear has more pulling power, so your car accelerates faster. And that's how it works for me. Let's say that I operate steadily. I operate steadily, absolutely stable, with patience, with, I know, kindness in my soul, just piece for piece on the 5 gear. I'm moving. But if there is a car between me or a very, um, to say it, not irritating, but unsuitable situation, for example, the situation requires me to very fast, very efficiently, and very decisively change the gear and um, speed up over the car, yes, in order to continue my moving towards in a stable mode again. I don't think about it much. I just switch to the third gear, switch to this conflict mode, switch to this aggression mode if I can't put up with the situation. And then when it's resolved, I move back to the 5 gear and continue my movement in a relaxed, controllable way with patience and no desire for the conflict. That's how I operate. And did it change? And did I become more patient when I become older? Not at all. The older I become, the less I'm ready to put up with things that crosses my boundaries. Yes, let's say this how it is. Yes, as a matter of fact, the older I become, the less patient I'm with things that crosses my boundaries. Yes, and I like it. Yes, I like it because when I was a child, I very hardly ever been able to stand up for myself, and my boundaries were used, crossed every fucking moment. Yes, and now I'm a full-grown adult, and I can manage it. Now I can stand up for myself, and I'm not allowing to cross my boundaries because when I'm allowing to cross my boundaries, it damages only me, and I don't like it. Yeah, I really don't like it, and I think any person in the world don't like when their boundaries crossing. Don't like when their boundaries crossed. Is my answer. So in my case, the older I become, the less patient I am to things that are not suitable for me. Yeah, the older I become, the less I know this word. I learned this word. Uh, compatible probably, yes. Let's how we call the person that uh, accept the that accept the outer, that puts up with everything. That put up with everything. Tolerant, forbearing, or patient. No, not patient. Abide. Abide probably, yeah? But not the proper word. That put up with a social rules. Not conformist. Okay, I didn't find this word, but the closest one is to abide. Abide and the conformist. But goes by the book. Yes, yes. I like goes by the book. I like to be adequate, normal. When no one crosses my boundaries, when something or someone crosses my boundaries, I'm not gonna allow it. Yeah, this is how it works with me, and with age, as I said, it only increases, and I really like that it is. Yeah, that is increasing. Yes, because this because without this understanding of self boundaries, without this understanding on self respect, let's put it in this way, life was much more harder. So this is my answer. The question number 3. If people spend more time reflecting on their decisions, how might their life change? Good question. I think people should spend some time on reflecting about their decisions because it's a sign of it's a sign of intellect. Actually, it's a sign of intellectual person who can reflect, who can analyze, who can change, yeah, who can learn on mistakes. That's all the sign. That's all the signs of quality. It is all the signs of a quality of intelligence. Yes. The other question, yes, is how long should person reflect on their thoughts or decisions? The answer, my opinion, is that not very long. I think day or two or week or sometimes a month. It's enough. Yes, it's enough to reflect about everything that bothers you, find the solution, understand the mistakes, and then fix the mistakes and continue move on, become a better person. Yeah, it's all what this process about of reflecting, to understand your mistakes, to understand the weak points, and to adjust all of it, to develop things that needs to be developed, and continue move on. Yeah, but sometimes people do a very huge mistake, and I'm the one of these people who did this big mistake, is they reflect on the things for too long. Yes, for too much longs. Not days, weeks, or months. Years. Years they can reflect, rethink, rebuild the situation from the past in their head. It's not a very good. It's not a very good way, because from process of developing and transform into process of stagnation. Yes, when you stuck in one moment for a couple of years, it's nothing else than stagnation. Yeah. So my answer is it's important to be able to reflect on your decisions, but you need to have limits. You need to have limits. Um, I mean, when you solve the situation, when you find the solutions, you move on. You close this question like it's an old file, it's an old case, it's finished, it's closed. No need to go back to it. Yeah, that's a productive approach. That's the healthy approach and approach that works. The next question. What are the main differences between learning from experience and learning from advice? Um, really? Very easy question. Learning from experience is when you do learning from experience is when you um, it's when you draft the conclusions from your own experience. Yes, like you try something, you fail, you analyze, you get the experience. Yes, you get the feedback. You analyze the situation and then you try again with better chances. Yeah, or like try again, with but you don't repeat your old mistakes again. Yes, I think you get. Yeah, I think you get to the point. What I've been trying to say is that when you learn from your experience, you learn on your own mistakes. Very efficient way to learn, but sometimes might be painful. Yeah, because mistakes, it's not a pleasant thing, but it's necessary. Yeah, the best teacher is your own experience. And what about learning from advice? Learning from advice, it's not actually, you can't learn, in my opinion, you can't fully learn from other person experience. Why is that? Because you didn't, just simply, you didn't try it, let's say, you didn't experience it, so it's a different level of understanding for you. Yeah, for instance, um my friend, my good friend, who fluently speak in Polish. Yeah. And I tend to ask him some questions, yes, in which I know that he has an expertise, like driving, like Polish language. And the best advice that he have ever gave to me is just feel. Yeah, just feel, just feel the process. At first, I thought that this was a ridiculous advice. I mean, what does it mean feel the process? I'm asking him how to get the proper pronunciation. He tells me, "Man, just feel, yeah? Relax and feel." What does it mean? I don't I What does it mean at that moment? I didn't know. Then I asked him a lot about driving, like how he understand when he needs to switch the gears. Yes, on which I know on which matters. Yes, on which to say 1 minute. Need to Google this word. On which limits probably. On which indicators. Yes, indicators. Like I'm not sure that indicators. Yeah, for sure. Let's say indicators synonym. Synonyms. Okay. Let's leave it as indicators, but this is not very fluent word, but let's keep it, yeah. On which indicators? Yes, on which indicators he is looking and how to decide when he need to switch the gear. Yes, speed limiter or tachometer. Yeah, or what I need to use. And the thing that he said to me then was again, man, when you're in the car, you feel when you need to switch the gear. Yes, you just need to feel, relax, and try to feel the car. For me, it was like do something that I don't know. Yeah, what does it mean, feel? Yeah, I didn't know that at the moment, but and this was his advice. Yes, but I didn't get to this advice. I didn't get to this conclusion from my experience. So for me, it was like, what I need to do, you need to do this and that. And I'm saying, yes, okay, now I need to try it for myself in order to understand it. So what I need to do, yes, what the person need to do is to transfer advice into his own experience in order to feel it and understand it fully. What did I do? What did I did? I just tried his advice. I've just tried his advice when I've been speaking Polish. I relaxed and just been focusing on the flow. Yes, focusing on trying to focusing on speaking in general. Yeah, focusing on my ideas, what I'm trying to say, and you know, do not hesitate and mm, do not hesitate and doubt myself much. Just do the job. Try to concentrate. Try to reach this state of flow and feel, and just feel yourself in action. Yeah. Trust yourself and try to feel yourself in action. Yes, try to feel the action. This what his advice was about feeling the action, being in flow, being in the moment. Yeah, and I understand it only when I tried it for myself a couple of times, when I reached this state of the flow, when I'm just doing the things, when I'm just doing the thing continuously and without a lot of overthinking. Let's put it in this way. Yes, when I'm trying to drive a car, I'm concentrating on how car behave herself. I'm concentrating on the sound. Sometimes I'm looking for a tachometer, yeah, in order to see the revs. But most of the time, it's just how car behaves, how car responds to your steering. Yeah, and this is the best indicator. Yes, the best indicators cars gives you by giving you feedback how you steering the car, how you driving the car. This is about the car, how I implement his advice. About the language, as I already said, simple concentration on what you're trying to say, not how you're trying to say, on what you're trying to say, and just simply go with it. Yeah, go with it, go on and on and on, and just talk. Yeah, and and that is what his advice were about. Did I understand them at a first instantly? Yes. At a first try? Of course not. But in order to understand, I get this advice and make my own experience. Yes. And in this case, I learned. So my answer is I explain the differences. Yes. The experience is your experience. Advice is when you need to get the advice and implement it into your own experience. Yeah. Two different approaches. The question number five, and before I came to the question number five, I think I need to take a little rest because I've been talking for 33 minutes and I feel like I need to walk a little and drink a little bit of water. Yeah, and after that, I will be ready to continue. I'm here. I'm here, guys, and let's continue. Let's continue the question number five. Why do some people find it difficult to say no to others? Because we were, I think, mm, sometimes it is uncomfortable to say no because we were educated in this way. We were brought up in this way in our families, in school, in universities, everywhere. We learn the fact that you should help other people, yes? Because it's polite, because it's unpolite to say no. Of course, it's good to help people, and yes, sometimes it's a harsh answer to say no, but the reality is that there is a lot of people in this world, unfortunately, who want to use other people, who want to get advantage from other people, and who very low, exactly low, love. That is, there is a lot of people who love, who really like to get advantage, to use the people, polite people, educated people, the people who don't know how to say no. It's like for them, it's like piece of cake, yes, to transfer or to reassign a lot of their own problems, tasks, or things that they simply don't want to do on the shoulders of other people who just simply can't to say no to them. And in order, it's all about boundaries again. It's all about self-respect and boundaries again. At first, this is my approach, how I see it. Yes, because truth be told, I am the person who always been struggling to say no to other people, but um, it might sound cynically, yes, but you need to think about yourself at first. At first, because no one will think about you. Yes, when the needs come, you're on yourself. Yes, probably in the in the best chances in the best scenario, you will be with your family, but nobody gives a damn. Yes, people gives a damn when they need something from you. Yes, or when you can suit their needs in a way. But it's like in the most cases. Yes, in reality. Of course, there is a friendship. Of course, there is a good people, virtuous people, decent people on whom you can rely, on whom you can trust. But in general, it's all about using each other. So don't be ashamed, don't be shy, don't be afraid to say no if it protects you and your boundaries. Yes. If your boundaries depend on saying no, just say no. Doesn't matter what comes next. The most important thing is to protect your boundaries. Because if you allow to push yourself, allow to push your boundaries, usually the person who pushes your boundaries not gonna stop. He's only gonna, in the best cases, he's gonna push your boundaries and then fix for himself that at this point this person can be pushed, and probably even try to push further next to see how much you can be used. And yes, it sounds sad, it sounds cynically, it sounds unreal, but this is experience that I have. That if you not control other people, if you not control what other people can do to you, be ready for the worst. Be ready for the worst. Yes, be ready for the worst. So better to control, better to set up the boundaries and say no straightforwardly, right into face, in order to, yeah, in order to simply to in order to simply to protect your life, to protect yourself. Yeah, to protect your own peace. Yeah, that would be the the best, I think, explanation. The question number 6: how has the idea of success changed in the recent years? Um, I don't know. I think the idea of success always has been the same, like resources, power, influence, and protection. Yeah, if you have enough resources to be free, if you have enough strength to be protected, if you have enough influence to do what you want to do, yeah, and etc. Things doesn't change. Yes, we're all humans and we all live in the same society. Of course, society developed, but the core principles are the same. There is no equality. Yeah, there is always the ones who lead and the ones who follow. There is always the ones who valuable and the ones who valuable much more or less. Yeah, and that's how it works. No other way. Communists tried to build the equality, but in general, it was a lot of slaves and the very, very small amount of elite people. Elite?
Elite.
Elite. Yeah, elite people. And that's not the change. It's not a change of the structure. It just how we call it? It's a drastic. It's a drastic. 1 minute. Mm, it's a drastic. It's extremes. Yes, it's extremes. It's a drastic split between two classes between two societal classes. Yeah, in democracy, in free market, we can at least, yeah, to do something for ourselves, to move higher in this success hierarchy. Yes, let's call it a success hierarchy. Not success hierarchy. It's a life hierarchy, not success. We can do something with that. Yes, we can change classes, but when something is equal, like government says, it's not. It's just much more extreme and much more worse. But not about that. I don't like word success. I mean, I don't. I met, unfortunately, in my life a lot of people who corrupted this word, who corrupted the meaning of success itself. Yeah, to just make this world absolutely unpleasant to pronounce even. But word success means that you try to achieve something and you achieve it. Yes, and this is success. Simple as that. When you get the result that you wanted to get, this is success. Yeah, no other meanings. In this case, the idea of success also didn't change. You plan to do something, you go for it, you get it, you succeed. Yeah, simple as that. No other, how we call it, uh, rudimentary, but in English,
rudimentary,
rudimentary meanings. Yeah, success, it's success. Yes, it's when you accomplish the task as you wanted to accomplish it. Yeah, when you get results that you wanted. This is success. No other rudimentary meaning. Okay, the question number 7. If people had fewer distractions in their environment, do you think they would achieve more? Why or why not? If people had fewer distractions in their environment, do you think they would achieve more? Why or why not? The answer will came from my the answer will come from my experience. In my studying process, in my practice, when I have less distractions, I can concentrate more on the subject, which is obvious, but the unobvious, how we call, the obscure, yeah, the obscure, let's call the hidden or subtle or obscure. The obscure thing, the hidden thing that is not always visible is that when you have less distraction, you need to fight yourself less in order to concentrate, in order to do what you need to do. For example, very simple instance. When you have a video game that you like, that you really adore, and you have English grammar that you need to study, what will you choose? Yes? What will you choose when you have the best video game possible that you love? For example, Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3. You really love this game. You can play this game. Yes? It's near you. Yes? You can just sit and play. And on the next hand, on the next option, you have learning English grammar. That is difficult. That is not always interesting. That is requires effort just to simply sit down and start doing it. And my question is, what will your mind choose? Yeah, let's be honest. Your mind will always choose video game. Doesn't matter. how you work with. It doesn't matter what you talk to. It doesn't matter how you try to how you try to mm, not prove not prove to yourself, but how you try to persuade. Yeah, I'm googling.
Persuade.
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 Persuade. Doesn't matter how you try to persuade yourself that you will choose the language, the English language, because it's important. No, your mind always wants the treat. Your mind always wants the candy because it's delicious. It brings you joy. The video game. And that's why when you have video games in your attention all of the time, it's much more difficult to you to concentrate and put yourself to study the English grammar. Unfortunately, fortunately, this is the reality. So when you have in your life, when you have in your life less distractions, less things that magnify your attention, less things that distract your attention, like when you need to study, you study. You don't watch the video game stream on YouTube. Yeah, you do the English. You don't think about video game even in order not to distract yourself. And thanks to this, yes, thanks to the fact that you clean your environment before starting to achieving something, it affects your productivity. It affects your productivity directly. Yeah, you're much more likely to do the studying than fighting with yourself in order not to play video game. Yeah. And the best choice for your mind, at least, as I learned, you can't defeat your mind. You can't defeat your desire to get the pleasure. Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah, if you will fight it, you eventually lose. You eventually lose. So the best case is just to simply clean the distractions, and concentrate on on a task that you need to do. You will get the pleasure from this task, but much more, but later, and this is a more gradual progress. Yes, getting pleasure from studying. It's like you try something, it's difficult, but you try again, try again, and then after a couple of days, you get the results, you get the understanding, and that brings you joy, and that is bringing you joy. While the video game is an instant joy. You don't need to do anything. You just need to start playing, and there is gonna be instant dopamine. And our mind, as I said, sorry for repeating myself, always choose the dopamine, the instant dopamine. And this is just our body mechanism that you need to understand. Yeah. So my answer is, if people had fewer distractions in their environment, do you think they would achieve more? Yes. Simply not because distraction or video games is bad, but simply because it would be much more easier for them to focus their attention on things that they need to do in order to achieve something. Yeah. Yep. It's like another example. It's like you can, yeah. For example, you want to lose weight. You create a diet, very perfect diet for you that you can keep without a lot of struggling. Like, but then suddenly your mother comes to the go to the supermarket and brings you the big, delicious chocolate cake, the cake that you love the most. And of course, when you're on diet, when you keep into the plan, seeing this cake every time on the table gonna force you, gonna create this inner struggle within you that you really fucking want this cake, that you want to eat it, you want to eat it whole, and you're not gonna win in this fight. Yes, doesn't matter how disciplined you are, doesn't matter how much will you have. One day you will break. One day you will eat whole this cake for once, and will destroy all your diet. will destroy all results that you did before. So that's why it's very important to clean your environment from distractions when you need to concentrate on things that you need to do, yeah, in order to get result. This is a fact, yeah, as a matter of fact. No need to even reconsider it or debate about it. This is a fact. If you don't believe me, you can try it yourself. You will see how your body reacts. And the best way to do things is within harmony. Is within harmony with your body. Yeah. In this case, it would be much more easier and natural for you than fighting constantly your own desires and your own, yeah, fighting constantly your own mind. It's not the best choice. You need to work in a harmony. So help your body reduce distractions when you need to concentrate on something. Help yourself, yeah. Make it easier for you, more pleasant. Okay, I answered. Let's move to the next question. What makes some habits easier to maintain than the others? What makes some habits easier to maintain than others? I think the same mechanism of dopamine, of pleasantry gaining. I mean, if you do something that do not bring you joy at all, it's like, what's the point of doing these things? Yeah. I gave an English grammar learning example, but why I'm able to do it for so long, why I'm continuing doing it, even if it's not so funny, even if it's not so funny, as I said, it brings me joy. It brings me joy, but usually, of course, I like the process. I taught myself to like the process of studying. Yeah, it's a habit. But also, I get pleasure when I see that I'm growing in English, when I see that I'm developing in this language, when I see that my skills is improving. This brings me pleasure. Yes, so there is always a moment of pleasure. So if the habit doesn't have any sense to you, and even if it have sense, but it didn't brings you any joy at all, you're not gonna keep it. You're not gonna maintain it. It's not gonna work. Yeah, you need to find the joy in a thing that you want to make your habit. Like, okay, very, very, very real example from my own experience is smoking. Yeah, I was, uh, I was a constant smoker. Yeah, I like smoke. I liked it's but simple. I liked smoking. I used to smoke a lot, and one day I decided to get rid of it. Did my body like it? Not at all. Did my body like it? Not at all. My body fight me severely to bring me back to smoking because it was, it was hormonal mechanism that was disturbed. I taught my body to get some elements from the cigarettes, yes, and that's why my body asked for this nicotine, for these elements, because it was just a habit, yes, for my body to consume these things from the cigarette. Yeah, when I get rid of a cigarette, the amount of things, the amount of elements that my body tend to get was removed fully, and my body gives me the reaction, gives me the desire, gave me the desire to get smoke as much as fast as possible. Yeah, so it was a little fighting there, but how I keep it, how I kept it, and why now I never gonna get a cigarette in my hand, because where was the pleasure? Yes, the question is, where was the pleasure in this process of not smoking? And the pleasure was, at first there was no pleasure at all. Yeah, it was sheer willpower. But pleasure start came after 2 weeks, after months, after 2 months, when I start feeling myself better, when I start feeling myself healthier, when I start uh, my heart stop pay how we call it. I felt pain in the heart. The pain stopped. I felt myself uneasy. I felt myself nervous when I've been smoking, and all these factors start to reduce, and I understand that my body is healing, and this fact of healing start bringing me a joy. Yes, the joy that helped me to overcame, that helped me to overcome this destructive habit of smoking. Yes, I found my joy, and that's why, and why I'm keeping without smoking. What joy in it? What joy in it for me is that I like to feel myself healthy. I like to feel myself healthier than I used to be when I smoked. Yeah, and this joy is keeping me protected from this desire, from this old habit, because I get a joy from being healthy. I get a joy from non-smoking lifestyle, and that's actually an answer for this question. What makes some habits easier to maintain than the others? The joy. You need to find the joy, even if it's not um, obvious at the beginning. You need to find a joy. Without a joy, you can't maintain any habit, even if it's the most useful and helpful habit for you. You need to find joy. The joy from a scent, the joy from a thoughts, the joy from your body. Doesn't matter. Any amount of joy, yeah, will keep your habit steady. Without a joy, it's not gonna work. The question number 9. Do you think people today are more independent than in the past or more dependent on system and technology? Difficult to say. I think people always been dependent on stuff. Yeah, like you need food, you need water, you need protection, you need services, you need medical care, you need money, you need things. Yes, all our life built around that we need things. Yes. Of course, people become dependent on good qualities. Yes, on good circumstances. Yes, we very easy, we very fast we are very fast accustomed to good conditions. Yeah. But from my experience, I could say that the person have the ability to adapt very fast as to harsh conditions, as to good conditions. Yes. So if you are in a difficult situation, of course, at first there is gonna be stress, but then your body is going to adapt. Doesn't matter how difficult situation is. And at the same in with a good situation. At first you will feel euphoria, euphoria. 1 minute.
Euphoria.
At first you will feel euphoria, but after a couple of time, oh sorry, but after a couple of months, after some amount of time, you just simply will stop. 1 minute. I'm looking for a ChatGPT questions. Ah, here it is. At one moment you will just simply start notice how good things around you are. Yes, you just simply become accustomed to them. Yeah, and that's how our body works. It's how our mind works. So we are very, very, very good in adaptivity. We are very well adaptive organism, and that's why we survive, and that's why we the dominant group on this planet, because we are very well, because we have a very good adaptation to the things around us. Yeah. This was my answer. And the question number 10. How important is to feel in control in your own decisions in life? Very fucking important. Yeah. truth be told, if you don't have control over yourself, if you don't have control over your decisions, you are absolutely lost. There is no other way. You're gonna be controlled. You're gonna be used. You're gonna do a lot of mistakes. You're gonna do mistakes that you could have that you could have been avoided, but you didn't because you didn't have a control over yourself. That's why you failed. So let's put it in this way. Yeah, there is a quote about that. That you can't control your environment. You can't control things that outside you, but you can control things inside you. You can control yourself, and this control can make you free in a manner of speaking. But in general, when you have self-control, you more adaptable to the situation. You're more adaptable to the environment. You operate better. You guide your life better. So it's like, let's imagine that you are in the car and you can steer the car, or you can yes, you can steer the car and lead it, have control over the car, or you can just simply, I don't know, get your hands away from the steering wheel and simply let the car just go whatever the car's gonna go. Yeah, no control at all. Of course, it's gonna cost. It's gonna cost. Um, it's gonna cause accidents. Yes, it's gonna cause road crashes. It's gonna cause problems. Yes, if you if you if you wouldn't control the steering wheel. Yeah, so it's a simple metaphor, but absolutely applicable to this question. If you have control over yourself, you can steer yourself. You can, let's say, ride yourself. Yes, you can ride yourself, you can control yourself, you can direct yourself. You are in control over your body. Yeah, your emotions, your etc etc. No, not your emotions actually, but you're in control of your reactions. Yeah, but it provides you with advantage, and it provides you with stability in life, at least stability as much as possible. And it is how it is. Yeah, it's always a choice of the person. Do the person want to control itself, or don't, or want to flee, or not flee, but how never give up, no, not give up, or yes, if person want to control oneself or want to give in into circumstances. Yeah, it's always a choice. But from my experience, I could firmly claim that self-control is always better than self in control. Yeah, control in control. Yeah, control in control. In control. No. In control is incorrect word. In control. What does it mean? In control meaning. No, in control is not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that the opposite of control. The opposite of control is it's a chaos. Yes, let's use the word chaos. Chaos. Yes, it's always the person choice. What the person prefer, control or chaos. But as I said, I'm ready to claim it. I'm ready to state it fully. Yeah, and I'm absolutely ready to debate this question or give the proof that control always better than chaos, especially when we talk about self-control and control yourself in your life. Yeah, and control. When we talk about self-control, sorry for repeating myself. I've got a little bit tired at the end, and my mind start making slips. in a language, and my mind start slipping in the language. But it's all right. It's all right. I finished the speaking practice. I've been talking for 1 hour. Quite good result. And I think without further ado, or without further chit chatting, see you in the next speaking practice video. I'm gonna record the next speaking practice video, I think, if not on this week, but on the next for sure. Yeah, because very important rule to remember if you are learning, and if you are studying any language. In order to use language, in order to be able to use language, you need to use it. In order to be able to speak, you need to speak. Yeah, so it's like the rule. It's like an unshakable rule. Yes, always true. You need to practice speaking English in order to speak English. So no other way. If you want write good, you need write. If you want write good, you need to write. If you want speak good, you need to speak. If you want understand everything if you want to understand everything by hearing, you need to listen a lot. Yeah. If you won't be able to read, yes. If you want to be able to read fastly or fluently or have a big vocabulary, you need to read books. So there is a skill, there is a practice, and that's all. Yeah. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next speaking practice video. Goodbye for today.